If you thought 2025 was big for Isekai anime, then buckle up, because 2026 is about to be absolutely legendary. We're not talking about new adaptations here. No. We're talking about the return of some of the most beloved, most binge-worthy, and most talked about Isekai series that have been making us wait far too long for their next seasons. Today, we're counting down the top 10 most anticipated Isekai anime returning in 2026, from comfy slice-of-life fantasy to absolute powerhouse blockbusters. And trust me, when we hit the top 3, it's gonna be on a completely different level. So hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's dive into the hype. Kicking off our list at number 10, we have Farming Life in Another World Season 2. This wholesome isekai that's all about building the perfect countryside life. Our protagonist, Hiraku Michio, died from illness and was given a second chance in a fantasy world by God himself. But instead of fighting demon lords, Hiraku just wants peace. Armed with the all-purpose farming tool, a magical implement that transforms into anything he needs, he settles in an untamed forest and starts building his dream farm from scratch. Season 1 showed us Hiraku creating his village, welcoming various races like vampires, elves, and even angels, all while growing crops and raising livestock. With Season 2 officially announced and currently in production for a 2026 release, we'll see Hiraku's village expand even further with new residents, fresh challenges, and deeper bonds forming within his growing community. If you love the relaxing vibes of By the Grace of the Gods, this slice of life isekai delivers that same comfy energy. So, are you ready to return to the most peaceful isekai world out there? At number 9, we're switching to something way darker with Remonster Season 2. This series follows Tomoki Kanata, who's reincarnated not as a hero, but as a goblin named Rue. Here's the brutal twist: Rue has the ability called Absorption, which lets him gain the powers and skills of anything he eats. Monsters, humans, magical beasts, it's all fair game. Season 1 showed Rue's ruthless climb up the monster hierarchy, evolving into stronger forms while building his own tribe and conquering territory through strategy and violence. With Season 2 officially confirmed and scheduled to air sometime in 2026, fans can expect Rue to push his evolution even further, expand his influence, and face off against rival monster factions and human kingdoms. This isn't your typical hero story. Rue is calculating, brutal, and willing to do whatever it takes to dominate. If you're a fan of Overlord or So I'm a Spider, So What?, where the protagonist isn't exactly the good guy, then Remonster will satisfy that darker isekai craving. Can Rue's hunger for power ever be satisfied? Stick around to find out. Coming in at number 8, we have Black Summoner Season 2, a pure power fantasy isekai that's all about overpowered summoning and battle-hungry protagonists. Kelvin wakes up in a fantasy world with no memory of his past life because he traded those memories for insane abilities before being reincarnated. As a summoner, Kelvin has one goal: find the strongest opponents and fight them. Season 1 introduced us to Kelvin's growing roster of powerful summons, including the goddess Melfina, the deadly archer Eiffel, and the demon swordswoman Sarah. He steamrolled through high-level monsters and tournaments with a smile on his face, loving every second of combat. With Season 2 greenlit and set to premiere in 2026, we're diving deeper into the light novel story arcs with even more dangerous enemies, higher stakes battles, and mysteries surrounding Kelvin's forgotten past. What makes Black Summoner fun is Kelvin himself. He's not out to save the world, he just wants to enjoy epic fights. If you love the Rising of the Shield Hero or Arifureta for their action-packed chaos, this series delivers exactly that. Ready to see what summoning mayhem Kelvin brings next? At number 7, we have one of the most creative isekai premises ever, Reincarnated as a Sword Season 2. Imagine being reincarnated not as a hero, but as a sentient sword stuck in the ground. That's our protagonist's reality, a magical blade that can evolve, absorb skills, and grow stronger, but can't move on his own. Enter Fran, a young cat girl from the enslaved beast race who discovers the sword and becomes its wielder. Together, they form an incredible bond. On Fran fights while the sword, who she calls teacher, guides and protects her. Their goal: help Fran evolve into a powerful warrior and free her people from slavery. Season 1 beautifully captured their journey through dungeons and battles, with Fran growing from a scared child into a confident adventurer. With Season 2 officially announced and expected to air in 2026, we'll follow them into more dangerous territories, tougher dungeon raids, and encounters with enemies who'll test both Fran's combat skills and teacher's evolution abilities. What makes this series special is the wholesome father-daughter-like bond between Fran and teacher. If you enjoyed So I'm a Spider, So What? For its character growth, you'll love this. Can a sword and a cat girl take on the world? Sliding into number 6, we have Ascendance of a Bookworm Season 4. The isekai that proves you don't need epic battles to be absolutely captivating. Urano Motosu was a book-obsessed college student who died and was reincarnated as Mine, a frail young girl in a medieval fantasy world where books are incredibly rare and expensive. Her solution: make books herself from scratch. Seasons 1 through 3 followed Mine's incredibly detailed journey of inventing paper, ink, and printing methods using her modern knowledge, all while navigating her mysterious illness, forming connections with the church and nobility, and dealing with political intrigue. With Season 4 officially confirmed and slated for broadcast in 2026, Mine's influence will grow even larger as she navigates the complex world of noble society and religious politics with much higher stakes than ever before. What sets this series apart is its focus on world building, character development, and the satisfying victories that come from hard work and intelligence. The magic system is intricate, tied to social hierarchy, and every episode feels like solving a puzzle. If you love Spice and Wolf or the Apothecary Diaries, this is must-watch isekai. Will Mine's dream of a library finally come true? At number 5, we've got Welcome to Demon School, Iruma-kun Season 4, the delightfully chaotic isekai that blends comedy, school life, and genuine heart. Iruma Suzuki is a kind 14-year-old human who's sold to a demon by his awful parents. But instead of being eaten, he's adopted by the demon Sullivan, who enrolls him in Babel's demon school. The catch: Iruma has to hide the fact he's human or he'll literally become lunch. Seasons 1 through 3 followed Iruma as he navigated demon school, made friends, accidentally became a top student, and even formed his own misfit class of talented demons. Along the way, he's faced magical exams, ranking battles, and hints of a prophecy about a legendary demon king. With Season 4 officially greenlit and scheduled to premiere in 2026, we're diving into the Heartbreaker arc and further development of Iruma's magical abilities and growing leadership. What makes this series brilliant is its perfect balance of comedy and character growth. Iruma is genuinely kind, and watching him inspire demons while desperately hiding his humanity is pure joy. If you love Assassination Classroom or My Hero Academia for their school-based antics, Iruma-kun is perfect for you. Can Iruma keep his secret while climbing the demon ranks? Now we're entering the big leagues. At number 4, we have the Eminence in Shadow Season 3, the ultimate chunibyo fantasy brought to life. Sid Kajino was obsessed with becoming the ultimate mastermind who controls everything from the shadows while pretending to be a nobody. After being reincarnated with magic, he creates Shadow Gardens, a secret organization built around a fictional conspiracy he invented for fun. The twist: that conspiracy is completely real, and Sid is accidentally at the center of everything while still thinking he's just playing pretend. Seasons 1 and 2 gave us jaw-dropping action sequences with Sid obliterating enemies while staying in character as a background mob. His followers in Shadow Garden worship him as a genius, taking his every random comment as divine strategy, and the comedy comes from Sid being hilariously unaware of how real everything is. With Season 3 officially confirmed and set to air in 2026, expect deeper exploration of the cult of Jobless, even more powerful enemies, and Sid's Shadow Eminence act reaching ridiculous new heights. What makes this brilliant is its self-aware humor and movie-quality animation. If you love Overlord or Konosuba for playing with isekai tropes, this is essential. Think Sid's delusions have limits. You haven't seen anything yet? So now we're in the top 3 and things get serious. At number 3, we have Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation Season 3, the series that set the standard for modern isekai storytelling. Rudius Greyrat was a 34-year-old shut-in who died pathetically and was reincarnated into a fantasy world with all his memories intact. Determined to live his second life to the fullest, Rudius trains from childhood, forms deep relationships, and slowly confronts the failures of his past. Seasons 1 and 2 followed Rudius from childhood through adolescence, covering his training, his journey across continents, battles with personal trauma, and his reunion with scattered family after a catastrophic disaster. We've seen him grow as a mage, fall in love, lose people, and struggle with the weight of his choices. With Season 3 officially scheduled for 2026, we're expecting the university arc where Rudius enrolls at Rinoa Magic University, encounters new allies and enemies, and uncovers deeper mysteries about the world's history and the looming threat of the man-god. What makes Mushoku Tensei special is its breathtaking animation from Studio Bind, incredible world-building, and genuinely flawed protagonist whose journey feels earned. If you love character-driven fantasy like Frieren, this is a masterpiece. Can Rudius outgrow his past? At number 2, we have one of the most beloved isekai franchises ever. That time I got reincarnated as a slime. Season 4. Satoru Mikami was an ordinary man who was stabbed and reincarnated as a slime. But thanks to unique skills like Predator and Great Sage, Rimuru Tempest quickly becomes one of the world's most powerful beings. Instead of conquering through fear, Rimuru builds a nation where all races, monsters, humans, demons can coexist. Seasons 1 through 3 showed Rimuru's rise from lone slime to founder of the Jura Tempest Federation, a thriving monster nation that's become a major world power. We've seen him awaken as a demon lord, fight wars, and navigate complex politics. With Season 4 officially confirmed and set to premiere in 2026, expect high-stakes diplomatic arcs, the looming threat of the Eastern Empire, and battles that'll test Rimuru's leadership and strength like never before. What makes Slime special is how it balances action, politics, and wholesome nation building. Rimuru is overpowered but also kind and strategic. The supporting cast is massive and well-developed, and watching his vision of a peaceful world come to life is genuinely inspiring. If you love Overlord or Log Horizon, Slime delivers. Can Rimuru protect everything he's built? And finally, the #1 most anticipated Isekai anime returning in 2026 is ReZero starting life in another world. This isn't your typical power fantasy. Subaru Natsuki is transported to a fantasy world, but instead of overpowered abilities, he's cursed with return by death, forcing him to relive events every time he dies. He can't tell anyone, and every loop is a brutal reminder of his weaknesses and failures. Seasons 1 through 3 were emotional roller coasters, showing Subaru's repeated deaths, psychological breakdowns, and desperate attempts to save the people he loves, especially Emilia and Rem. Season 2 ended with Subaru facing the trials of Sanctuary, confronting his past, and overcoming monumental challenges alongside his allies, while Season 3 shifted into large-scale conflict as Subaru and his companions defended the city of Pristella from the witch cult's archbishops. With Season 4 officially confirmed and set to broadcast in 2026, the story moves into Arc 6, pushing Subaru into one of the most mentally and emotionally demanding arcs yet. We'll see major character moments, devastating trials, the most complex return by death loops, and critical developments in Subaru's journey. What makes ReZero the most anticipated is its refusal to follow genre formulas. Subaru is weak and breakable, but refuses to give up. If you love psychological thrillers like Steins Gate, this is peak Isekai. And there you have it, the top 10 most anticipated Isekai anime returning in 2026. From comfy farming life to psychological horror, 2026 is shaping up to be legendary for Isekai fans. So which returning Isekai are YOU most hyped for? Are you Team Rimuru, Team Subaru, or waiting for Sid to accidentally save the world again? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear what you're most excited about. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button, subscribe for more anime breakdowns and seasonal previews, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Share this with your fellow Isekai fans, and let's get hyped together for 2026. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay hyped, stay awesome, and keep watching Isekai.